Well, I was checking on this fox snake's bin, and I noticed that the moss is all pushed towards the front, which usually means they are showing some nesting behavior, at least in my experience. And she is due to lay eggs, so I'm going to take a peek. No, I'm not feeding you. I'm not feeding you, girl. I'm sorry. Oh, there's eggs! Oh no. That's not a good thing. Well, some of you might already know what I mean by this clutch is not a good thing, but let me show you. Here is the lay box. This is just her cave flipped upside down with a corrugated plastic sign on top. It works really well for a lay box for our snakes. And here are the eggs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 slugs, which means they are infertile eggs. I can tell that these are infertile because, several different reasons. They have pointed ends and they are yellow in color. A nice, fertile, healthy egg should be round and white, and none of these fit that description. And finally, we know that these are infertile and not gonna hatch because when you drop them on the counter, they bounce. Don't do this though, unless you know for sure that the egg is infertile. All 9 of these eggs are infertile. I know, girl, you tried your best though. Yeah, you tried. Yeah, at least you laid eggs. Let's see, are there any others hidden down here? Nope, that is all of them. Well, first I want to make sure she got them all out. That's my main concern. Sometimes you can feel snakes underneath their bellies, and if they've just laid eggs, you can typically feel if there's any left behind. If you can't just see them, it's usually pretty obvious. You can see if there's eggs still in them. But she got them all out, and so that's the important thing. She pushed out all those eggs, so there's nothing left behind. So that's more of a concern than if the eggs are good. Unfortunately, the eggs are not good. The reason why I think these eggs are infertile is because our male just must not be big enough yet. We were kind of on the fence on whether he'd be big enough to breed this year anyway, so, he just must need another year or two. The good news, though, is we've never gotten eggs laid from a fox snake before, and we have been trying to breed these for about 5 years now. Back when we did hatch out a clutch of fox snake eggs, we literally bought the female with a clutch of eggs. So we've never actually produced the eggs ourselves yet. So this has been a big challenge of ours, but I'd say this is a step in the right direction. At least we got her to ovulate and produce eggs, and maybe next year that male will actually be big enough to fertilize them. Unfortunately, breeding snakes isn't all happy news. It's not all fun because, you raise these snakes for 3 to 5 years, you breed them, and then they lay slugs. So it's kind of disappointing, but they're healthy, so we're just gonna have to try again next year. Nothing goes to waste here at our house though, so I think we're going to feed a few of these slugs to Rex. Why not? Let's feed them to our alligator. We have one very excited alligator on our hands today. She hasn't had any slug eggs this year because this is the first snake clutch we've had. Rex! Hi! Oh, not the time. There you go. Oh, what is that? Is that good? Want another? Oh, you flung that into your pool. Really? Now you're gonna have to go find it. All right, here. Oh, is that good? Should I go get you the last egg too? Here, Rex. You're welcome, because you're too dumb to find the egg yourself. We can't give her too many slug eggs in one day because it makes her poops look funny. Also, don't mind her water level, that's getting topped off today. Well, I think Rex is satisfied, maybe. She probably would eat more, but I don't want her poops to look weird. So the rest of these slugs, since we don't want them to go to waste, we're going to give to our friend's blue-tongued skink. After a snake lays eggs, they're usually pretty hungry because they have most likely skipped their previous meal. So we are going to feed the female and the male while we're here. Here you go, little girl. Yeah, oh, first meal after laying eggs. She is hungry. There you go, squeeze it. Squeeze it. Ah, there you go. Good fox snake. You get a meal too just because you're down here. Do you want a mouse? I know you're in shed, so you might not actually eat it. Do you want to eat it? Come on. Fox snakes like it if you move the mouse a lot. Don't eat the tail. Here, eat the head. There you go. Sweet. Well, this is just an example of how breeding snakes isn't always good news and exciting times. I mean, it was exciting, but it was a disappointment to see that her eggs were all infertile. But we're looking at the positive side and considering it still kind of a win because we got eggs for the first time. Now we just have to get fertile eggs. After our female snakes lay eggs, we feed them right away, and we try to feed them about twice as often as we normally would for a couple of weeks, just so they can help gain that weight back on them after having laid an entire clutch. Now is also the time when we will occasionally put calcium powder on the mice, especially if we're feeding a younger mouse, which is going to be more cartilage-based rather than bone and therefore calcium-based inside. And this is just to help replenish the calcium levels of the snake. However, not many breeders will sprinkle calcium powder on the rodents. That's just kind of something extra we do sometimes, so it's not absolutely necessary. I will say though, this female doesn't look too deflated after laying those 9 eggs. A lot of snakes after laying eggs will look kind of like an empty tube of toothpaste, as a lot of reptile breeders put it, where they just look deflated and empty. So that's why a little extra food at this time will definitely help them out. Well, I've cleaned out her lay box and set it back up as a cave, so we're just going to set her back, let her digest her meal. Good job, girl. At least you got all the eggs out and you made eggs. It wasn't your fault that they weren't fertilized, huh? No, just blame the guy for that. So I'm sorry guys, but we will not have western fox snake babies this summer, which is too bad, but we will have a bunch of other snake babies coming soon. We actually have like 7 or 8 snakes that are due to lay eggs any day, so we're going to be filming a lot of these videos for you. They'll be coming out soon, so expect lots of eggs. Well, thank you guys for watching today's video, and thank you to the Patreon backers for all of your support. You guys are truly amazing and generous. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next time.